Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about a new YouTuber. Her channel name is Allinwithari. She is blowing up on YouTube, getting tons of traction, and I not only found her on my YouTube recommended, but evidently a few of y'all did as well. So the algorithm is working in her favor. But if you're interested in hearing my thoughts around her channel and whether or not she is allegedly scamming people, according to a lot of the internet, sort of 50-50, but a lot more people are leaning towards the fact that this might be disingenuous. But I've done a little bit of homework and I will share my thoughts. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so Allinwithari, it follows a young girl by the name of Ari. This channel, I've not seen growth like this in a while, and maybe it's just me, tell me if I'm wrong, but she literally uploaded her first video 3 weeks ago and she has 81.4 thousand subscribers as of August 17th when I'm filming this. So this is a lot of growth and there are a lot of eyes on her channel. And the reason that there are a lot of eyes on her channel is because she is allegedly homeless. And I'm going to say allegedly because there is some interesting information that has been published by her and just some overall speculation by many people. The internet sort of agrees that there are a lot of simps that follow her. She is a very young, attractive young lady. And first things first, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. If she was not attractive, young, pretty girl, people would not care about her. They are interested because she is, by society standards, she is what people would consider an attractive girl. I just don't think that anyone would really care if she was not what a lot of people consider to be attractive. Now, y'all kind of know the, seat that I sit in. I don't subscribe to the society norms of what pretty or handsome or attractive is. I think that a lot of times someone's personality, as corny as that sounds, their personality can shine through and make them the most attractive person in a room full of models, and all of the models could be stuck-up jerks, and that's just the way that I look at it. I don't think that beauty has a skin tone, a size, a number, an age. I just don't subscribe to that. I think that it's an ancient way of looking at, oh, you're pretty or oh, you're ugly. Ari is a Jesus-loving girl. As soon as I started watching her videos, the one that was recommended to me is the first one that she posted 3 weeks ago, and it was recommended to me, I think late last week. I can't remember what day, but I've been keeping up, and I also watched all the videos that she has posted in between and just been following it. And I've also seen a couple of other commentary videos about her. The very first thing that I picked up on was that she is definitely relying a lot on her religion and her spirituality and her being a lover of God and considering herself to be a Christian. And in my opinion, religion can get tossed around a lot, and I think that it's a way to relate with people. I think it's a way to say, look how, quote, good I am. I am a good person because I love God and I love Jesus. And any of you guys that have watched my videos previously probably know where I stand. I just don't believe in that philosophy. I believe in the fact that you can have Christians that are doing the worst things ever behind closed doors or in public, and you can have someone that considers themselves atheists doing really, really amazing things and helping their community and, rescuing animals. So the idea of her talking about loving God and being on this path that God put out for her so much, I think it's just a way for her to try to connect with people that are very religious. I think that it's worked in her favor, because if you look in her comments section, there is a lot of chatter about loving God, Bible scriptures, all the blessings that God is going to give her. So it's a lot of that type of talk if you go into her comments. So aside from being a lover of God, she is a 32-year-old woman who was born in California, lived in Arkansas for 29 years, and just recently came back to Southern California in Ventura County after she escaped an abusive relationship. And in her very first video, she does go over this. The thing that I will say is everyone processes trauma differently. Everyone processes getting out of an abusive marriage or an abusive, even an abusive friendship. We all process those things differently. But the thing that I will say is some of the things that she has said along the way, to me, it makes me question how she's handling this, if she is so fresh out of what was allegedly a really abusive relationship, to the point where she literally had to escape the state and relocate herself to California.
I was born in Ventura, California. At the age of 3, I moved to Arkansas, and I lived all my life out there. And then last year, I moved back out here. And the reason I moved out here was because I had to leave the relationship that I was in. I had to leave for my safety. It got so bad that my coworkers were telling me, if you don't get out of here, we're going to see your face on the news. I was in denial about it at first. Of course, I wanted to believe that there could be change. And I believed in the best, but it progressively got worse. He was starting to sense that something was up, and he was getting more scared of me leaving, that it made him grip tighter, and it became more of a challenge for me to strategize my way out of the house. I acted like I was coming out here just to take a little vacation and visit my relatives. I left everything behind. I didn't bring anything with me. I didn't have time. I just brought the things that were most important to me, and clothes and whatever else I could fit in my car. All my furniture, all of my belongings, I just had to wipe my hands of them. It was my belongings or it was my life. I mean, enough said, right?
Now, when she escaped to California from Arkansas, she decided to stay with her dad, who at the time was living in his parents' house. And the way that they finagled it is because allegedly the grandma doesn't like Ari. So she was living in a downstairs den, and her dad was basically just sneaking her in and out of the house initially, while she was getting her feet back on the ground in Southern California. Evidently, the house is massive. It is behind a gate, and due to the square footage, they were able to work this out because there was tons of space. And on top of it, her grandmother, who didn't like her, was very sick, and she wasn't able to go down the stairs. So there was a very slim chance that she was going to go downstairs and figure out that she was living there.
To give you a little background on my grandmother, she's not a nice person. I'm just gonna flat out say it. She is not a nice person. There's like a very small circle of people that she likes, but she doesn't like newcomers. She doesn't like anyone to steal the spotlight from her. She's just not a friendly person. Like, if you ask most people, she's kind of known to be like just mean. What we did was my dad actually snuck me into the house for like, oh gosh, I don't even know, probably like the first couple months. I stayed in the downstairs. It's such a big house. It's like, I think it's like over 4,000 square feet, something like that. But so I stayed down like in a den area, like in a bedroom downstairs, and she can't go downstairs because of health issues. So my dad would just sneak me in and out, and it didn't take me long to find a job.
Now I'm going to give you a brief overview of kind of her family dynamics, because it is such a big part of her story and what people are talking about. And I'm only repeating this because she did make it public knowledge when she said these things herself. So she describes her dad as someone who is a self-centered, free spirit kind of guy with multiple kids that he has not even met yet. Of course, I've never seen her dad in a video. I haven't heard him say this directly, but that is the way that she described him.
My dad's a very free spirit, and I don't want to say like a lot of negative. I really don't, but he's about himself. You know, he has a lot of kids, and some of the kids he hasn't even met yet. so I'll just leave that there.
So now that I've talked a little bit about her family, we will get back into that in a minute, but I want to tell you guys about her first video, the one that I found and the one that is the most viewed on her channel. As of right now, it has 1.6 million views and it is monetized. Her channel became monetized very quickly, so she is collecting a pretty penny off of that video that has 1.6 million views. And essentially in this video, she just goes over a, brief overview of how she eats living out of her car, the allegedly minimal things that she has in her car, her personal belongings. She explains that basically she takes care of her hygiene by going to a gym where she has a membership. So she will take her stuff to shower in the gym while she does a workout, and that's how she handles that. I know that other people living out of their cars, I have heard similar things from them. TikTok, for some reason, there for a while, this was a few months ago, I was seeing a few different people that were living out of their cars, and it's just a really sad thing. Some of them do it by choice, some of them do it obviously because of financial issues, but they either have a cheap gym membership and that's how they get their physical fitness in and their hygiene, or some of them utilize like truck stops, where truck stops will allow you to shower if you pay a small fee. So I've kind of seen it on both sides of the fence, but those are typically the two things that I've seen. Have you guys seen these videos? Tell me what you've seen as far as that goes. Now, in her first video, she did mention that she had a full-time job and she was working full-time and she had saved up a lot of money, but she had been scammed by apartments in the Los Angeles area. And she doesn't really go into detail where she explains that she had a lot of money saved, but she didn't really explain where all that money went. If it wasn't being spent on things like rent, utilities, buying furnishings for an apartment, she doesn't have a lot of those expenses. She complains a lot about those expenses, but she doesn't have them. So in my mind as a viewer, I was automatically thinking, you said you had a lot of money saved, you haven't moved, so shouldn't you still have a fair amount of that money saved? And I know it's expensive to live day to day, but to me, if you categorize something as a lot of money and you're not having normal expenses like everybody else, those expenses that you're complaining about being so high, then to me, it just kind of left a question mark in my mind. But y'all tell me what you think.
Because I know people are going to be asking me, well, if you have a full-time job, then why are you living in your car? Well, it's so damn expensive to live here. Not just food and gas and stuff, but like living, oh my God. A studio starts at $2,000, and it's almost even unheard of to find something for $2,000. You're looking at like $2,300, $2,400. And when I did have money saved up, I actually tried really, really hard for months straight to get a place, but obviously no luck for many reasons. A lot of them were scams, so I got scammed out of hundreds of dollars just trying to apply. I actually viewed a few places and ended up loving them, but never heard back, or just somebody got in front of me, or my credit score wasn't as high as the other person's, or something happened, or something always fell through, or almost like it wasn't meant to be. And so after months of trying, I finally just got exhausted, and I was like, you know what? If I do get a call back and I actually get one of these places, I don't think that I would even actually be that happy, because be stuck with a lease, I would rather have extra money to just live. So that's where I'm at right now.
Another thought that I had while watching her video, and all of the ones that I've watched since then as well, my number one, well, maybe my number 2 or 3 question would have been, if you escape an abusive relationship and you move to a different state, for me, I would not be plastering myself all over YouTube or all over social media and telling people what state, what city, what county I'm living in, because if it was something that you literally had to escape and it wasn't just a normal separation, then I would think I should probably look out for my safety right now, and I should probably not tell YouTube on a video that has over 1 million views where I'm living. That was just kind of my thought process, knowing that she came out of this relationship that she had to escape, according to her, are you not scared to be plastering yourself all over YouTube? But more specifically, telling people exactly where you're located. Obviously, your ex knows what kind of car you drive. If it's that bad of a situation, are you not scared of him catching a flight and coming out there? I know LA is a really big city, but let's be honest, crazy exes will spend 48 hours straight driving around in circles. She parks her vehicle, and she has said that she sleeps a lot in like parking garages and stuff like that for hours, either when she's trying to sleep or when she's editing. So it's not like her car is always moving. To me, that would be a huge safety concern, but that was just another one of my thoughts. So now I want to get more into the video that she uploaded on August 7th, and that was going over her family dynamic and where she told a little bit more info about her grandparents and her dad. So she explains how she arrived at this over 4,000 square foot home. She was able to live in the basement, sneak in, sneak out, all of that good stuff. Evidently what happened was time went by. Evidently her grandmother, who she described her grandmother as someone who was not only sick, but she was also very bitter and mean and cruel. And evidently what happened was her dad caught the grandmother on a quote good day, and the dad shared with his mother, he shared with her that Ari was living in their residence. It wasn't necessarily a really positive response. It wasn't, confetti and balloons when he shared this with her.
Like, I think she was having a really good day, a little more lighthearted. So my dad kind of just said, hey, like, my daughter's here and she needs a place to stay. She's coming from like a really bad relationship. Like the guy is crazy, tried to kill her, all this stuff. And that kind of sparked her attention a little bit. And she wasn't very welcoming, to be honest. She didn't really want me there, but I was already there. And she just kind of like dealt with it, I suppose, to put it in a way. She was like, okay, well, how long is she staying? Blah, blah, blah. Actually, I got along with my grandmother. It started to get to a point where we were talking, and still not the nicest person, to be honest, but we were getting along enough. And she did say, you don't need to spend your money on an apartment, just stay.
Evidently things were going okay there for a while, but because Ari was not, quote, participating in their family events, things like going to car shows and just participating with the family with things that they were doing, she got onto the bad side with the grandmother. So she basically said that she didn't participate in these events because they weren't her vibe, and it just wasn't something that she enjoyed spending her time doing, so she chose to not participate.
So that I just wasn't engaging in their activities, just because it just wasn't me. So my family, they're like huge into car shows. That's their life. I did the whole car show thing back in Arkansas with my other grandfather, and it just didn't excite me, so I didn't ever want to like be involved. And I'm talking, they aren't involved. They are like big time members of the club, and they customize cars, which is way cool. I love that, but it's just not what I wanted to do. I was out there in California, and I was always at the beach, and I was trying to make peace with what happened in Arkansas. I was trying to just find myself again. They like to drink and party, and their daughter loves to party. She's like an ex-DJ, and so they do bring people over, and it's not for me. It's just not my vibe.
She did also mention that there was a lot of consuming alcohol and kind of partying type stuff that she wasn't interested in, which I completely understand that side of it. Not everybody wants to be around drinking alcohol, especially if you're not a drinker. But either way, it sounds like she just didn't participate in any of it, and that's where the issues kind of started to go downhill. She also shared that evidently right before the end of the fallout, she thought that her grandmother was jealous of her youthful good looks, and her grandmother was someone who was just very bitter to be getting older and losing her youthful appearance. Again, I have no clue if that's even true. Ari is someone who definitely has a big ego, and I'm not saying that as an insult, but as a fact. She has said so many times how she's constantly being hit on, and she is constantly being told how pretty she is and things like this. And look, don't get me wrong, I get it. go off, but when it's so often, it kind of comes off as a little bit disingenuous. It's sort of like, oh, you know, it's like that good looking guy that like knows he's good looking and he constantly talks about it. After a while, it's just like, okay, shut up, dude. Like, we get it.
He was like, what the F is your problem, Mom? What do you have against her? She is the nicest person. She's done nothing wrong. She pays rent. She hasn't bothered anybody. She's working. Like, what is your problem? And he even said, like, is it because she's young and beautiful and you're not anymore? I was like, oh God, because she is a woman who's kind of stuck in the past and she hates being old. She wishes, and she's very verbal about it too. She wishes that she was young and beautiful again. I hate that she had that kind of mentality and that she didn't have peace within herself. That really, it was disturbing. So that all happened. She just kind of lost it on me, and out of nowhere, I was so shocked because it seemed like everything was fine. And then it's just like, boom, get the F out of my house. So, I mean, I didn't fight her.
So as the final fallout kind of unfolded, Ari shared that her grandmother was, quote, losing her mind, and she just became sicker and sicker. And instead of continuing to stay in the house, Ari decided to park her car on the street outside of the house, outside of their gate, because they had a gate, you know, at their end of their driveway.
And that's how I got to the point of sleeping in my car outside of their house. Now, I wasn't on their property. I know a couple people said that I was still on their property, but no, I wasn't. I was on the street of the neighborhood. So they do have a gate, and once you're past the gate and out of the driveway, you're like right on the street.
So she decided to live in her car on the street, not technically on their property, but right outside their house. And she did that for a little while. Unfortunately, her grandmother has passed away, which is so unfortunate. But if the issues stemmed from the grandmother, here's kind of my train of thought when I saw that video. Issues stemmed from grandma. Grandma's no longer here. Why not try to patch things up? I don't know. She didn't say that things were super toxic and, you know, disturbing with her dad or her grandfather. Now, she might not necessarily get along with them, but at the same time, you are, you know, literally living in your car. And if things are not toxic or bad, if they're just kind of neutral, to me, it just kind of left me with a question. But again, just my opinion. Some of the other things that are a really big part of Ari's vlogs, aside from religion and Jesus, is that she calls her followers watermelons.
What you doing, watermelons? I just finished my workout.
And it sort of seems like some people like that, but most people just find it really cringe and sort of childish and annoying. I don't know. To me, maybe 500 other things that you could call your followers aside from watermelons, but that's just my opinion. She also definitely portrays being this free spirit, riding the wave, tons of toxic positivity, you know, having patience, walking on the path that God chose or is choosing. She talks a lot about blessings.
And so my mind wasn't really on much more than just trusting in God and waking up and going to work every day. That was pretty much it. And enjoying the weekends, of course, like going to the beach. But I knew that wasn't it for me. I knew that God has a bigger plan for me. And I expected to have change happen. I expected to grow. I expect there to be growing pains. I expect ups and downs. These are all things that in prayer God has put on my heart to expect. I have been through a lot. God will bless you if you trust in him. God is pouring all these blessings on me and it's overwhelming. I almost don't know how to accept it. That's part of it. That's part of spiritual growth.
To me, she is definitely someone who subscribes to toxic positivity, and she not only subscribes to it, but she also puts it out to her audience constantly. And I get being positive, and most of y'all probably know I'm a little bit of a pessimist, but I also go with what's in front of me. I'm not going to, you know, be in the middle of a storm and be like, oh, at least it's raining. No, I'm going to look for an umbrella and try to, you know, not get drenched. I'm just a realist, but I get that for some people, toxic positivity and just being super duper positive all the time helps them get through really hard times. So that's nothing personal. It's just kind of the way that I look at it. But she's definitely someone who is front and center with the toxic positivity movement. She talks a lot about wanting to live in a van. She wants to convert a van and do the whole van life thing. I want to talk about van life for just 1 second before we get further into this video. I have seen creators on TikTok who have tried to do van life and have failed at it because they were watching other influencers live this super cute Instagram lifestyle, traveling in their van and just having the time of their life, allegedly. And I've seen people try to follow in those footsteps, and because they don't have a bunch of money in the bank and they're being unfiltered and showing the real deal of how hard it is, I literally seen people who are there's one TikToker, she's literally homeless because she tried to do van life and she just couldn't make it work. And so I know the van life is an aesthetic and it's cute and all of that, but I really wish that some of these van life people could be a little bit more real with what it's like for the average person with a normal income to try to do van life. Not a millionaire, not someone who's making 100K a month on social media, someone who actually has a normal salary. Maybe they're able to work remote, but they have a normal job. I just see way too much of this, content that is not feasible for 90% of the population. And so either way, she wants to be a van lifer real bad. She talks about vans all the time, and we're going to get into her visiting the Mercedes dealership in 1 second. One other thing that I noticed is for someone, now granted, I have to be careful with how I present this because nobody needs to tell me, oh, well, you've never been homeless, so you don't know. But let me just share this from a viewer's perspective, and you guys tell me how you feel. She buys a lot of Starbucks, and she spends a ton of money at Target. Now, here's my whole thing. Putting myself in the mindset of not having a lot of money, Starbucks is the last place that I would be frequenting every single day. I would opt for McDonald's, a convenience store. So with the buying Starbucks, I just think that spending $5, $6, $7 a day could be an expense that people kind of side eye only because there are so many other affordable coffee places that she could be getting coffee. And yeah, to me, the Starbucks thing and the buying a lot of expensive food all of the time, I know other people have mentioned that as well, and I know that food is a touchy subject around here, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like if you don't have a lot of money and there's a Starbucks and there's a McDonald's, then most people are going to say, let me save my money and go to McDonald's. I can spend less than half that and have money for coffee tomorrow and the next day as well. The last thing I'll mention about her spending that I noticed is that she's never wearing the same clothes twice. She constantly has different clothing on. And again, for me, just putting myself in that mindset, if you have limited clothing and you're not doing laundry, then how is it that you're never wearing the same thing twice? Again, that's just an observation. It's not meant to be, bitchy or rude or anything, but common sense would tell me limited clothing, you're going to see this person wearing the same or similar things. And all of her videos that I've seen, I haven't noticed that she was wearing that shirt yesterday. That makes sense. 2 days back to back. Again, just an observation. Now, on August 13th is when shit really hit the fan on her channel. She put out a video van scouting. So she took her happy behind down to Beverly Hills Mercedes-Benz dealership. And in the beginning of the video, first of all, she announced that she quit her full-time job.
I want to tell you, just to catch you up a little bit, that I officially quit my job and I have decided to do YouTube full-time. And I moved. I left Ventura County and now I'm in LA. Yeah, so
here's my response to that. If she ever had a full-time job, which, going off her word, she did, just because you go viral on YouTube over the course of a couple weeks most logical people would not quit their full-time job, because with a full-time job comes benefits, health insurance, 401k, a steady paycheck. Everyone knows that going viral online is not forever. Everyone dies down, everyone levels out, and you're not going to get 1 million views on every video. You're not going to get 500,000 views on every video. So to me, it seemed like a very quick and abrupt decision. And so it went from her working full-time, living in her car, to I quit my job. A producer from Squid Games contacted her to be on this reality type show that they're scouting for.
Casting director, producer, person, I don't really know what his title is. But he reached out to me via email and he offered me an opportunity to be part of Squid Games. Like, I know that's like a big thing, but I didn't really know what it was, so I Googled it. But they're doing like, I think like a show based off of the game, if I'm understanding that right. But yeah, I got an official invitation to be part of that. So I want to know what you guys think. Comment and let me know, is that something that I should even consider? Man, God's working in some big ways, that's for sure. Oh, I love you. This is going to be a very interesting next few months for me. So yeah, let's do this. I love you. I love you, watermelons.
And she wants to go to Beverly Hills at Mercedes to look for a van. I just think that came out of left field, and it left subscribers feeling very much, whoa, what is going on here? This is way too much change, too many questions, too many abrupt decisions being made, all because you got decent views on a video. And the people that had donated to her via Cash App, I think that they felt really confused and probably kind of screwed over, because you put out this story that you know people are going to get emotional, you know they're going to be emotionally invested, and those who can will donate, and now you're quitting your job. To me, that doesn't sound like someone who is in the trenches of a struggle of coming out of an abusive relationship, living out of her car and trying to get on her feet when her family, won't help her. Too much confusion, too many red flags, and that's just my opinion. Something she mentioned about her experience at Mercedes is she wanted to tell everyone how the sales guy was hitting on her.
I told the guy that I wanted to look at a van. They didn't really have any, they had two and they were used. And I was like, that's cool, like I'll at least look at them. I wanted to check out the inside. And immediately just starts hitting on me. And then he went to go get the keys, and I stood there, I swear, for like 10 minutes outside waiting for him to come back with the keys. He comes back, the keys were the wrong keys, so he leaves again for like 15 minutes. I'm just standing out there. And he finally comes back and says, oh, I'm sorry, the other guy took the keys when he left yesterday. And I'm like, oh my God, hey, that's cool. So he was all apologetic and stuff. And then ends up asking me out. Like, he was treating me like a queen. He's like, can I get you anything at all? Can I get you anything to drink? I was like, oh yeah, water would be great. So I'm like sweating my ass off. He's like, that's it? That's all you want? I'm like, yeah. I think I'm gonna want a bottle of champagne. I'm so unorthodox. I spill the water. I just splash all over the place. I get the parking ticket, my little parking thingy, my parking ticket. I get it wet. I'm just a mess. He's hitting on me. He's asking me like where I'm from and all that stuff, like small talk. And then yeah, he's like, I would love to show you around town, maybe buy you a drink or dinner. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, bro. Thanks though. That could be a new slogan. I'm good, bro. Thanks though.
And she came up with this little tagline that she's using now all the time. Supposedly she's going to put it on merch. By the way, nobody's asking for merch from her, even though she wants to say that they are. I've read tons of her comments. I've never seen someone say, we want merch. But she came up with this tagline, I'm okay, bro. Okay. I'm okay, bro. Thanks, though. Or something like that. Nobody wants that on merch. Nobody wants YouTuber merchandise. Like, let's just get that out of the way. 95% of YouTuber merch is cheap, corny, nothing that anyone would ever wear anywhere that matters. Half the time you're literally paying for something that's like an iron-on decal with a really crappy design. Most YouTuber merch that I've seen personally, I would not spend a penny on, but again, I'm just an idiot online. I don't know. Now, she did make a follow-up response to the van scouting video because of the backlash and criticism that she received. And in the response video, the thing that I didn't like is she is using this term watermelons to really divide up her audience. And she is saying, oh, you're my watermelons. I love y'all. Y'all love me. Like, You really know me. Y'all know the real me.
Yes, I know I don't owe anybody an explanation, and you are so right, I don't. And that's not what this is. This is for my watermelons. I just want you guys to know that I will always be me. I'm not going to get sucked up into the Hollywood life. That's not what this is. I did not buy a Mercedes, nor can I afford one. I'm not even close. I can't even afford like a regular van right now, like a cheaper brand. You know, so don't get the wrong idea. I'm not out in Beverly Hills living some lavish lifestyle or rolling in millions of dollars. Some people think I'm like a millionaire now. So not true. Not even close. But I am making enough to survive and do what I need to do out here and just live freely. But yeah, I'm the same Ariana as I was in my first video. That's not going to change. But I'm still Ari. I'm still me, and you guys are still my watermelons, and you will always be my watermelons. And I love you. I love you so much. This isn't for my haters, by the way. This is for the people who love me and understand that this is all real, and this is my story, and I'm just taking you guys along for the ride. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you don't like what I have to say, don't watch it. But if you feel the need to comment, great, that helps my channel. So whatever floats your boat. I'm here for my supporters, and I'm here to speak truth, my truth. And I just, want to take you guys along for the ride. That's all. I love you. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Nobody knows any YouTuber fully. Y'all don't know me. You might know a lot, about me and my personality, but you do not know everything about any single YouTuber. But I really didn't like how she was dividing up and already building these parasocial relationships by saying, oh, y'all know me, you know the real deal, I'm real and raw for my little watermelons, and I know I don't need to respond, but I'm going to, calling people haters, of course, just because they have questions. So it's sort of like this typical really fast incline, and now she's having like a panic because people are asking questions, they're putting two and two together, they're sharing their opinions about her presence and the way that she has moved over these last few weeks. And I don't think that she likes it. She might claim that it's free advertising for her YouTube channel, but that's not going to get you too far. I hate to break it to you, it's just the truth. Now, the most recent video that she put out, I just watched this afternoon, and she says that a producer is meeting her, so she might be on a Showtime show.
Slogan on it, so I think that's going to be something that we discuss. It's very cool opportunity. I'm actually getting a lot of offers for auditions for not just reality shows, but like Showtime, which is crazy. And I'm just at a point in my life where I don't really know what a good fit is just yet. I have to pray about it. I'm not going to do anything that's not led by God, because he's the one that got me here in the first place. He's the one who's brought me this far, and I'm not going to detour from that. So I need to make sure that the next decision I make is totally led by God.
Nobody knows who she is. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, me personally, if she was 6, 8, 12 months into this thing, then I could say, okay, maybe people have come across her, like, and it's not like you're acting on your YouTube channel unless you are. Some people have put that out there too. So I don't know. And who cares about Showtime? I mean, not me, But in the same video, she also talks about how God needs to build her path. God needs to show her the way. God this, God that. And, it always circles back to the Bible, God. God is doing everything. Jesus this, blessings that, and it's pretty repetitive at this point.
I'm not about to mess up my life. 100% totally blessed because I have a channel that's thriving. My subscribers are growing insanely fast. He's essentially giving me a platform because there's a lot of people he needs to reach through my circumstances, and I fully believe that 100%. And it's succeeding because I'm putting my trust in him. I'm not going to say no to his blessings, but I'm also going to be very, very careful as to which road I end up taking. The way I see it, it's just going to bring in more people who I can give hope to and help, and it'll draw in people that will see that I'm real and a good person and have a true heart and a truthful heart and does truly walk with the Lord. So all the power to him. It's just so new to me.
Now, the last and final thing that I want to talk about, and this is the real kicker, is that she has a Patreon. And her Patreon is $983 a month. No, that's not me kidding. It's not a typo on my notes. It's not a typo on Patreon. It's $983 per month. And she already had 26 Patreons or patrons. So that's like $25,000 for the month. So in my opinion, Number one, you're not giving anyone anything worth $983 a month. I don't care if you're going live every single day. And I don't care if you're doing a daily vlog on top of it. No YouTuber's content is worth $983 per month, point blank, period. I think the Patreon is the biggest slap in the face. It's the biggest insult, among all of her content and the things that she has said and done. I think to have the audacity to ask people to give her that amount of money, knowing that there are some simps watching her channel and signing up, 25 of the 26 are probably those guys that are watching her, if you know what I mean. It's just completely insane. I've seen a lot of YouTubers, do their Patreon thing, and they'll have different tiers and, whatever. I have my own opinion about Patreon, but I have never seen this amount, and that's the only tier. So in my opinion, what's going on here is this woman, I don't think that I don't think she's an actress. A lot of people have said, oh, she's an actress, the whole thing is fake. I think that she's just a grifter. I think she's a grifter who put out that video filled with, half-truths about why she's in California, how she got to California, what her life was like before she got to California. And I think a lot of her content is half-truths, allegedly. And I think that because she is a young, attractive girl and she sees that a lot of people are just eating up what she's serving, she is capitalizing on it. And I think that she's going to continue to capitalize on it until she's not making money by doing what she's doing. But if she puts out a Patreon and is charging $983 a month and people are buying into it, why would she stop? There's no reason for her to pull in the reins. If people are going to leave a couple comments, questioning her or whatever, she can ignore those. It's making her a bucket load of money, and I don't think that she's going to stop anytime soon. But the audacity, that is the pure audacity of people online just grifting, trying to pander to multiple different communities, trying to grift and e-bag and just do the whole thing. And I think that she has peppered in some half-truths in order to make her story more appealing to people who are willing to feel bad for her. But as soon as I figured out that she quit her job, that's where I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, no. This is not okay. And I just, at that point, I was a little skeptical up to that video. But once I saw that video, that sealed the deal for me. And then the Patreon thing, I can't. Like, she's a grifter, allegedly, in my opinion, and that's how I feel. I'm going to continue to cover her and see kind of what she does over the next few weeks. And I think that this would be a really interesting situation to follow. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about her. Have you seen her channel? Was it recommended to you? Did the algorithm work in the same way it did for me and a few other people? YouTube is definitely pushing out her videos. A lot of people are talking about her, but a lot of people are talking about her because they see the red flags and they see the issues. And as an internet society, we're doing what we do by discussing those issues on the public info that she puts out. So either way, those are going to be my thoughts for tonight. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.